everyone, it's Shell from Scrap Secrets and welcome back to my channel. Today's day 9 in the Countdown to Christmas 2021 series, and we're going to be making this shaker pocket card. You're first going to need to take a piece of cardstock that measures 6 by 12 inches, and you're going to score at 4 and 8 inches on the 12-inch side, and then turn it to the 6-inch side and score at a 1/2 inch. You want to make sure that you score the bottom of the paper if your cardstock or pattern paper is going in a specific direction. Then you're going to fold each side into the middle, crease them, and then you're going to fold the bottom up and crease that as well. I'm using my bone folder to make nice, clean, crisp folds. You're going to take the bottom of each of the sides and you're going to cut that little score mark out, leaving the small scored piece at the bottom of the middle. We're going to be folding these two in. What I decided to do was I actually took a pencil and put a little dot at the top of each of those score lines because it was very difficult to see. And I'm using my paper trimmer and going from the fold mark where I made that pencil mark to the bottom opposite corner. So I'm going to cut off a triangular piece, and that's going to create the flaps in the front that we're eventually going to glue down to that little flap piece at the bottom. So make sure all of your score marks are squared up. The next step is optional. I decided to take some vintage photo distress oxide and go around the edges of the paper so that it would have a little bit of a vintage feel. I tried to go with a lighter hand so that there wouldn't be some dark spots, but I'm not always great at that, so you'll see a couple of spots where it's a little bit darker. I went around all of the edges, and then I also folded it and went around the sides as well, because when we create the pocket that this shaker card is going to go into, you're going to see the sides of it. So I'm going to fold them in and then do the sides as well with the vintage photo. But first I'm going to glue the flaps down. I put glue on the little flap piece that we had folded up, folded one side in, and then opened that left side and put a little bit of glue down on the bottom. It wasn't exactly square, so I tried to square it up as best as I could and put a little bit more vintage photo, or put a little bit of vintage photo on that side, and then went back and did the same thing on the right side. Again, it helps everything look cohesive and match. I also did try to clean off my work surface because this is double-sided paper and I didn't want to get any vintage photo on the green side. Next, we're going to stamp the image from Lawn Fawn's How You Bean, this adorable little jar, and there are add-ons that have candy corns, stars, hearts. Today we're going to be using the mint one, which is super adorable. I just got this one. So I'm inking up the jar with Versa Fine black onyx ink and trying not to press too hard on it. I get a really good impression. And now we are using the Lawn Fawn stamp set How You Bean mint add-on. Like I said, there are several add-ons for this. The original one has beans for the jar, and then there are a bunch of different clusters of images that are in here that you could put in there. You could also make this into a shaker. I decided to do a shaker in a different way, but there are dies that will cut out the center so you can make it a shaker. Well, I did something a little bit different. We're going to do a card that is a shaker, but the back is, it doesn't actually open, it's just a double-sided card. So it was really to just hide that tool that's in there, so I'll show you what I mean. But first, we are going to color in the jar with this marker that I got from Target. I got a 2-pack of silver and gold markers from the dollar spot. So I believe they were $1 for both of them. Super inexpensive, and I really, really like them. I think they work really well. I did go back and add a little bit of white pen to the highlights because I didn't love the way that came out. I think I did put some silver over top of that in the end. But it's kind of hidden by the tool, so you're not going to be able to see it as much. I'm doing the same thing around the edges of this card as I did around the pocket that we created in the beginning. Took that same vintage photo distress oxide and just went around the edges. I wasn't as careful about cleaning things off here because we are actually going to glue the two pieces down together, so you're not going to see the back of it. So it doesn't really matter if you get some of the distress oxide on the back. After I finish going around all the edges with that Distress Oxide, we're going to get ready to put the tulle over top of the piece that's going to be our shaker card. So the piece that we stamped that jar and mints onto. I'm using my ATG gun to run tape down 3 of the 4 sides because you're going to need to create a pocket at the top so that you can dump in the shaker pieces. I've just taken a piece of red tulle that I have lying around. Like I said in my other video on making the shaker cards with tulle, I had a bunch of tulle laying around from when I did Halloween costumes for some of my nieces. So I'm just trying to use what I have, and I have red, white, pink, and some purple. So I don't have any green. I might have to invest in some to do some green shaker cards. But for right now, I'm using the red and the white mainly because for Christmas. So I'm just gluing down the sides. I didn't really trim off the edges like I did in some of the other cards because I didn't cut as much tulle. I just decided to use my liquid glue to adhere some of those down. And you see that I left the top open to dump in the shaker pieces. And now we're going to create our own shaker mix. I love doing this. I'm using mostly sparkle blends from Doodles Paper Playground. I will leave the link below to the her Etsy shop. She has some of the most amazing blends. So the blends that I used are Old Saint Nick, Double or Nothing, Ladybird, Clearly in Love, and then I've had this random one down. It's the one that you see on the right hand side laying sideways. I've had this case around for so long. I don't even remember where I got it from. They almost look like little snowflakes or sand dollars. I think you could use them for either one, but I thought they would be very appropriate in this because they almost look like little mints as well. So you'll see them here, and I just kind of pick up a bunch because they're all relatively the same. There's just a different pattern on some of them. I dump those in, and then I'm using Old Saint Nick. And once I have completed my blend, I'm going to get ready to dump it into the card. I generally dump it in, see if I need to put more in there. With this one, I didn't. I just held the top, made sure that it shook well enough and everything moved around. There weren't pieces that were too big for there. And then I folded in the corners instead of cutting it off, and then folded the sides and shook it again, and everything seemed to work. Now we're going to get ready to use the ATG again to glue this backing on there. You could definitely stamp a sentiment on this and make it a card that doesn't open, just a double-sided card, which I think I might do that, to stamp a sentiment on there. I just couldn't find one that I liked at the moment. But I think it's really, really cute. It's a different kind of card. It's a different shaker, and it goes into the pocket like that, and it fits super nicely. And it's just something that's a little bit different. I love fun fold cards, so I thought this one was really cute. I hope that you like it. Here are some still pictures. If you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, like, and comment. And I will see you guys again real soon for another video. Bye!